Join me as I dive deep into figuring out God's plan for my life and challenge myself to follow the signs I find along the way. The journey of discovering God's plan for your life is a deeply personal and transformative experience. It often begins with a sense of longing, a quiet inner desire to understand your purpose and align your steps with something greater than yourself. As you seek God through prayer, reflection, and scripture, the path may not always be clear, but each step reveals more of His guidance. This journey is significant because it shapes not only what you do, but who you become. It teaches patience, builds character, and deepens your faith. As you grow in relationship with God, you begin to see how even challenges and detours are part of His divine design, working together for your good. In discovering His plan, you discover your true identity, passions, and potential, empowered not by your own strength, but by the calling He places on your life. Many people struggle with finding direction and understanding their purpose in life, a challenge that can feel overwhelming and isolating. In a world full of expectations, distractions, and comparisons, it's easy to feel lost or unsure about which path to take. Questions like, why am I here? Or what am I meant to do? Often linger in our minds, especially during seasons of transition, disappointment, or uncertainty. This struggle is common because we're wired to seek meaning, yet the answers aren't always immediate. Without a clear sense of purpose, we may chase after success, relationships, or achievements, hoping they'll fill the void. But these things, while valuable, rarely offer lasting fulfillment on their own. The real challenge is tuning out the noise of the world long enough to hear the still, small voice of God guiding us toward His purpose, one that brings peace, clarity, and true significance. There was a time in my life when everything looked fine on the outside, good grades, stable relationships, a clear career path. But inside, I felt a deep emptiness. I kept asking myself, is this really all there is? That question slowly turned into frustration and doubt. I tried to plan every step of my life, but things wouldn't go the way I expected, and I started feeling lost. It wasn't until I hit a low point, when all my plans seemed to fall apart, that I finally paused and prayed, genuinely seeking God's guidance. I stopped trying to figure it all out on my own and started asking Him to lead me. That surrender brought moments of clarity, scripture that spoke directly to my heart, people who showed up with the right words at the right time, and a growing sense of peace, even when I didn't have all the answers. That was the beginning of understanding that God's plan isn't always revealed all at once, but step by step, as we trust Him. The turning point for me came during a quiet moment of prayer after a particularly hard season of disappointment. I had just faced a major setback. Something I had worked for years toward completely fell apart. I remember sitting in silence, angry, confused, and asking God, why would you let this happen? And in that stillness, I didn't hear a loud answer, but I felt a deep, undeniable peace wash over me. It was as if God was saying, trust me, I'm doing something greater. That moment shifted everything. I realized I had been chasing my version of success instead of truly asking God what He wanted for me. From then on, I began to see closed doors not as failures, but as divine redirections. I learned to let go of control and walk by faith, even when the road ahead wasn't clear. That realization that God's plan is bigger and better than anything I could imagine brought freedom, purpose, and a new sense of direction in my life. If you've ever struggled with finding your purpose or trusting God's plan, share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this spoke to you, check out the next video where we dive deeper into how to hear God's voice in your daily life, figuring out God's plan for my life, and challenge myself to follow the signs I find along the way. Discovering God's plan is a journey that has significance in my personal growth, helping me understand my purpose and direction in life. Many people struggle to find direction, feeling lost and uncertain about their purpose. Life can be overwhelming. With so many choices and decisions to make, it's easy to feel like you're just drifting through without a clear sense of direction. People often try to fill the void with temporary distractions, but deep down, the question remains, what am I meant to do with my life? This sense of uncertainty can be frustrating, especially when it feels like everyone around you has their life together. You start to wonder if there's something wrong with you, or if you're just not good enough. I've been there too, struggling to find my place in the world and questioning my own purpose. I've had moments of doubt, feeling like I'm just making it up as I go along, and moments of clarity, where everything seems to fall into place. My journey has been marked by twists and turns, with unexpected setbacks and surprising breakthroughs. Through it all, I've been seeking God's guidance, trying to understand what He wants me to do with my life. I've learned to trust in His plan, even when it doesn't make sense to me. As I reflect on my journey, I realize that seeking God's guidance has been a game changer for me. It's helped me see my life from a different perspective, to understand that I'm not just a random collection of thoughts and experiences, but a unique and valuable individual with a specific purpose. I've had to confront my own fears and doubts, and learn to trust in God's goodness and love. It's not always easy, but it's been worth it, as I've started to see glimpses of God's plan for my life. A pivotal moment for me was when I realized that God's plan isn't just about what I do, but about who I am. It's about becoming the person He created me to be, with all my strengths and weaknesses, and using my gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. This realization has given me a sense of freedom and purpose, helping me to focus on what really matters. I've started to see that God's plan is not just about achieving some distant goal, but about the journey itself, the people I meet, the experiences I have, and the lessons I learn along the way. God's plan for my life is still unfolding, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm learning to trust in His timing, and to have faith that everything is working together for my good. I've come to understand that God's plan is not just about me, but about the people I touch, the lives I impact, and the difference I make in the world. As I continue on this journey, I'm reminded that God's plan is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to me. I'm grateful for the journey so far, and I'm excited to see what's still to come. Discovering God's plan for my life has been a journey of growth, trust, and faith. It's a journey that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to follow God's lead. Even when it's hard, I've learned that God's plan is unique to each individual, and that it's worth seeking and trusting in. If you've been on a similar journey, I'd love to hear about it. Please share your own experiences in the comment below, and don't forget to check out my next video where I'll be sharing more on this topic.